It sounds very much like you're the extra in mommy and son love story. One person earns while another person spends. What the? In this economy? How dare you break bread with the enemy?
There's clearly a wrong party here.
You tell him, babe. You tell him. Do you think that sometimes maybe I can be a wee bit dramatic? What do you think?
Just a little bit.
Just a little? Just a little? Here's my theory, guys. That drama queens have been grossly mistaken. You know, they've been misunderstood this whole time. I think generally, tell me if I'm wrong, people that are more dramatic tend to come from more chaotic households, okay? And people that might be a little bit more mellow, more chill, might be used to surrounded by, more chill people. That's my working theory. Now, as you guys might have guessed, or if you're new here, you don't know yet, I guess I can tend to be a wee bit dramatic. And it comes from the fact that I've seen my fair share of craziness in the family drama. This auntie's not talking to this uncle, this grandma has beef with this other uncle. I've seen it all. So today I feel very equipped to handle our theme and Reddit stories family drama. Or as, what's his name? Dominic Toretto from the Fast and Furious series, family. Let's get into our first story. Our first story is from the subreddit AITH. Now, quick update. You guys did mention that you were interested in seeing some more wedding stories. I looked in the wedding drama subreddits, but there is nothing juicy enough. But don't worry, I still got you covered. We have a wedding story. Am I the a-hole for calling off my wedding after my fiance bought a house with his mom? Okay, so me, 28-year-old female, and my fiance, 30-year-old male, have been together for 5 years. We were planning our wedding for this fall and had been talking for years about our future, like kids, finances, and buying a house together. We had a whole plan to save up, find something we both loved, and make our home. This was talked about a lot. Well, turns out he already bought a house, but not with me, with his mom. And he didn't even tell me he was looking. Apparently, she found the perfect place and convinced him to split it with her because she didn't want to rent anymore. So now, instead of us planning our future together, he's financially tied to his mother, who's going to be living there full time. I just stared at him like, WTF? And when I asked where I fit into all of this, he goes, oh, well, you can move in too, of course. Like, I'm supposed to be thrilled to live in a house his mom picked out, partially owns, and is just there all the time. He also admitted that he did it because I was taking too long to save, and his mom offered him a faster way to own something. I was so shocked and pissed. I told him I needed space. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I can't marry someone who thinks this is normal. So I called off the wedding. And now his whole family's blowing up my phone saying I'm being dramatic, that it's just a house, and that I'm overreacting because we can still live together. Even my own parents are saying canceling the whole wedding is extreme. Like, am I losing my mind? Am I the a-hole, or is this a giant red flag? Have you guys ever seen one of those videos? Right? There's a guy on TikTok where he basically posts all these videos and it's just him holding a giant red flag or a giant green flag, running through the fields and blasting what certain red flag or green flag antics are. I think I need a giant red flag to be waved here because where does one begin? I don't exactly know if there's a chart out there that lists, okay, this is something like a moderate degree, like a light, warm, lukewarm reason to call off a wedding versus something that's like extremely hot, like ouch, like take your hand from the stove hot. But I would say this is one of them. This is like volcano hot. Why does it feel like instead of OP getting ready to start a whole new life with her fiance, it feels like she's OP, are you third wheeling on your upcoming wedding between your fiance and his mom? Because he's essentially already planned his future without you. It's one thing to say, okay, if maybe fiance was thinking about it and he was considering it, and maybe, sure, for whatever reason, their financial timelines are a little bit different, their financial situations are a bit different, and he wants, or his mom wants to help out and help you guys both, sure. Partial ownership of new house, why not, with mom-in-law, future mom-in-law. But the fact that he not only looked at the house, bought the house, purchased it, and furnished it, and decided all the living spaces or the living situation with his mom, and then just goes, "Oh, by the way, babe, FYI, so after we get married, you also are allowed to join me and my mom in our home that we bought and furnished without telling you." That just that it's kind of giving, yeah, his future does not include you. You're like an addition. That's what it is. If there was a necessary kind of part of this, a necessary step of doing things, right? It's like he went, afterthought. There you are, babe. Don't worry. I'll put you here. It just feels icky. I don't know. I don't think this is overboard. But I hate the fact that whenever people talk about weddings, it's, oh, everything's already planned, everything's already booked. You've made it, quote unquote, this far. Are you sure you want to toss it all away just for XYZ? I mean, I don't think this is one of those, oh, it's just this. I would be a little bit pissed at my own parents if they're hearing the situation and I'm their daughter and they're not on my side. The fact that your own parents are saying canceling the whole wedding's extreme. Well, what he did was extreme. No? Am I being dramatic here? I think this whole, if you're going to call her Bridezilla for this, I think it's justified dramatics. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say that's a red flag.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I could see the other side of it if they did not the couple, I guess, kept their finances completely separate and didn't.
What if they did keep it separate?
Right, it seems like that is the case, but even so, it's such a large purchase and such a big decision that will affect them both once they're married.
hmm
I think one partner should bring it up to the other partner.
I mean, technically he did, you know,
Yeah, but
after.
yeah, after the fact, which in my opinion, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because if you are with someone, you would bring that up ahead of time. You wouldn't jump to, I would say, such a huge commitment and such a huge decision ahead of time. Unless this was a partner's way of just kind of, I guess, buying a house for the mother.
Oh, you think it might be because the mom did say, oh, she didn't want to rent anymore. So maybe in his mind, fiance's mind, he thought, kill two birds with one stone. I get a house, or quote unquote, we get a house, question mark, and mom gets a place to stay long term.
Yeah. As because I've heard in certain cultures that is a thing when parents kind of ask you to
Oh, yeah. Buy me a house.
buy, well, yeah, technically co-sign the house with me, but you're
hmm
technically then the child would be kind of
Yeah,
forced to pay the
pretty
mortgage
much.
eventually.
I am conflicted because even in my culture, I'm Vietnamese, there is that underlying, like, there's a lot of families that will, I guess, multi generational families, right? Where even grandparents, you might have grandparents, even aunts and uncles potentially, mom and dad, and the kids living in one house. Why does it sound like one of those, like, what is it? Those comedy, modern, like rom com movies. But literally, it's like that, right? So I see that. But even then, in this economy, in this current, like, I guess you call it dating norm, starting of a marriage life, I feel like some transparency earlier on is needed, no matter how you kind of spin it. The fact that they've been together for 5 whole years. So, fiance's 30, OP is 28, and their whole dream that they've been talking about years, their mutual couple's dream was to buy their future home together. So it feels even worse. I feel like that's like the second, slap in the face. Wait, maybe that's like the back slap that comes back, right? It's like not only did you do this big financial thing without telling me, but oh, it was supposed to be our dream. And then you just went and did it. It feels some sort of way. But do you think it's big enough to justify canceling the whole wedding? Essentially, I think OP might be just saying canceling the wedding, but once you cancel the wedding, are you not also canceling the relationship? So breaking up?
I would say so, but at the same time, I understand this is a huge issue. I don't see how you can get out of that or how you can explain it or talk out of it in the sense that this was already done. So Um, Maybe the better thing would have been to talk to the fiance, but I guess she already did. Like,
Well,
try to seriously understand what his thinking was before kind of
yeah.
ending things.
I'm curious though, is the mom currently living in the house already? Because it sounds like this has already been well established for a while. And maybe fiance was just waiting for a quote unquote a good time to share the news or break the news. See, I have a question about that. Do you guys wait before you tell your partner that you did an oopsie or you know that they're going to react badly to something? Or do you go ahead and just say it right away? Or do you wait for quote unquote a good moment? I've seen different couples do different things for this. Honey, what do you do?
Yeah,
Hmm? Hmm?
that's not an oopsie though.
Oh, oops, I bought a house.
Yeah. I mean, if it's an actual oopsie, then I would let you know. But
An
this is
actual oopsie
right, like
versus like a
something,
pseudo
an
oopsie.
accident happened. I don't know. Like I broke your favorite cup or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you out though. No, to be fair though, I'll give him credit. My fiance chime in, also dubbed as Mr. Deep Voice by you guys. There has been one oopsie, and it is like now a traumatic experience for me and the butt of many jokes. When we went to Japan, I bought this Miffy bread. It was Miffy's like a cute little bunny character, right? And it was a strawberry, delicious, fluffy strawberry bread. And walking in Japan, I was so tired. I ate half the bread, then I tucked it away in M's backpack for safekeeping, or so I thought. And I said, okay, babe, I'm just gonna save the half for later. But in Japan, whenever you have trash, for example, right, you have to hold on to everything because there are not many public trash cans available. So you kind of hold on to it until you find one. So then you can deposit wrappers, things like that. So we were walking. At the next stop, he saw a trash can. So, being, a responsible citizen and person, he went, okay, let me deposit my trash into the trash can. He tossed everything, even my strawberry bread.
Well, I just tossed your strawberry bread. That was not meant to be tossed, which I thought was just the wrapper
How
empty.
could it's pink? It's pink bread, guys.
We had a lot of trash in there.
Okay. My point is, I would consider that an oopsie, right?
Right.
To be fair, I discovered that one first. Well, actually, here I remember how it happened. I didn't even realize that he had tossed it. He didn't even realize he tossed it. We were walking and someone I went, "Oh, can you hand me the half of my strawberry bread now so I can have it?" I was so excited to eat it. He goes, and I could see the blood drain from his face. Like his face just went like the panic in his eyes was so funny. He went, "What bread? What Miffy bread? What strawberry bread? There's no more." And I went, "What do you mean there's no more?" And he went, "It's gone." I was like, "What do you mean it's gone?" And that's how we found out M had committed an oopsie. Not on purpose, but an oopsie. And I was very sad. Would you have told me if you realized it? Or would you have tried to like pass it over until I realized?
Well, in this case, I wouldn't have tossed it if I would have realized that there was
Yeah.
something in
That was an
there. So
accidental. Yeah. Accidental
there's
thing.
probably no way I would have realized that what I've done until you pointed it out.
I'm still crying. Although, guys, there's a happy end to that mini story. Like on the bright side, Em and I actually did end up making our own homemade strawberry bread.
It wasn't as good though,
No,
unfortunately.
it was definitely not good. But I mean, the spirit of owing up to the oopsie was there. So I appreciate it. Now, for me, I will confess, if I did an oopsie, it depends. Generally, what do you mean? Don't raise your eyebrows. It depends. Look, for most things, like 99.99% things, yeah, I'll say, babe, I effed up. I did a boo boo. Okay. I did something bad. Like, here it is. Like, if I broke a plate or I messed something up, like, I'll say it. But if it's something really, really small, like for example, if I'm eating the last of a chip or the last of a good snack, and M's personality is if he doesn't see it, he doesn't want it. But if I ask him, he's going to say yes. But if I want to eat it, I should probably not ask him. So in those cases, sometimes if I'm feeling a little greedy, I might just eat the snack. That's fair, right?
Sure. If I don't see it, I don't care.
By this logic, it works for us. So that's my take on it, on the whole thing. Now, so my question for you guys is for those of you who are either in friendships or relationships, if you accidentally did something, okay, I'm not talking about intentionally ruining something for your partner, or you did something and you knew it was bad. Like I know some couples will buy a bag or buy a purchase and then not tell their partner. When do you fess up? From the beginning, or do you kind of simmer? Or I saw an episode on Big Bang Theory where Leonard and Penny, they're a couple in the show, where Leonard will say something like, I'll tuck this one for later, for when something, I'll use it for a good moment. I'll use it for a good moment. I'll wait for a time when she's really happy or something, or when the partner is feeling some sort of way to lessen the blow.
Or when the partner messes up and use that as a way to kind
Oh,
of
that's so
get out of the
bad.
situation.
That's so bad. It's so toxic. I don't recommend that one, guys, but I see the logic. So, Opie, no, easy. You're not the hole, and you might be losing your mind because of everyone around you apparently trying to gaslight you into saying, no, it's fine. It's fine. He can just buy a house with his mom. And then there's you. Then there's you. Yeah, I would lose my mind here. Giant red flag, absolutely not the hole. But let's see what some of the comments are saying. First comment, he didn't just buy a house. He built a whole future with his mommy and left you out of it. That's not a mistake. It's a conscious decision to prioritize her over you. And the fact that he thought you'd just move in like a guest in a home his mother controls, disrespectful as hell. This isn't just a red flag, it's a parade of them. If you marry him, you're not getting a husband. You're signing up to be the third wheel in his codependent mommy son fantasy. He's already made his choice and it wasn't you. So do yourself a favor, pack your bags, block his family, and go find a man who actually sees you as his future, not a tenant in his mommy's house. Oh, very harsh. Ooh, we got a writer today. But I agree. I think so. Usually, okay, sometimes in the Reddit world, and some of these stories, people with close relationships with their moms or dads get a bad rap. In this case, I think justifiably so. There's close, and then there's just complete lack of boundaries and disrespect to your partner. And I think this is it. Another comment, not that he didn't tell you he didn't include you and he just expects you to live with his mom. You're an afterthought. Okay, so here's my question because as far as I know, with home ownership and buying homes in the US, okay, assuming OP here, OP situations in the US, it takes some time, right? It's not like you walk out and you go, babe, I'm going to go out and run an errand and grab some groceries and stop by the post office and come back in 30 minutes. And then bam, he has a home. It takes, I'm assuming there was some time between. He probably went to take a look at the home he co-signed with his mom, in theory, right? At the very least. He probably browsed some time on his phone or the internet, laptop, whatever, looking at the home. He probably, contacted maybe workers to spruce up the home in some way before it's ready to move in, or had movers in the progress at some point. You guys have been together for 5 years. How did this man just do all of this without telling you and not feel guilty about it and not say anything? There's also a separate day where you have to go and sign the papers, right? You have to physically sign things for that still. You have to meet with, I guess, the sellers, and you have to do all the paperwork. So when did that all happen? And how did it happen without your knowledge, OP? How long has this been really going on? And how long has it been in the works? This does not feel like an impromptu, oh, by the way, babe, I did that thing, by the way, that we've been talking about for years without you. This is more like, so I've been plotting this whole thing. I destroyed our mutual dream and I fulfilled my fantasy of living with mommy without you. But it's okay. You can move in. Like, it sounds very much like you're the extra in mommy and son love story. Ah, a little goosebumpy, a little goosebumps. Do you think it's weird?
What exactly is weird? Him, the
Do you
fiance.
get the connotation that there's like some weird lack of boundaries between mom and son? Because there's the argument you had earlier where, okay, some cultures, sure, like you want to make sure your parent has like a place to stay or intergenerational home, sure. But the way fiance has phrased it makes me feel like there's just weirdness beyond that.
Yeah, I would say it's still weird, despite
Yeah.
what the fiance's, I guess, background is. But yeah, just
He's so nonchalant. You can
uh,
you can come into. Babe, I know we're getting married soon, but how would you feel if I told you that don't worry, we got another home waiting for us that I've already co-signed with my mom, but my mom's, package deal. It's like a buy one, get two deal, non negotiable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would just be a case of you buying a house for your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd still be probably upset if I did that
Oh, for
without
sure.
telling you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate benefit of the doubt that you would know that it's not, lack of boundaries in our marriage life and more so, well, lack of financial boundaries only. So that was our first story. Comments have definitely not changed my mind. Have they changed yours? Let me know in the comments, guys. I want to see what you think about this. And if you guys enjoyed our first story, don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the channel, guys. Although if you're tuning in from Spotify, thank you. And don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. All right, time for our second story. Our second story is our wild pick. And wild pick is just a story that's a little kooky, a little bit out there, but I thought you guys would get a hoot out of this one.
What? A what? A hoot?
A hoot. A hoot. I'm throwing some. Wait, is this American slang? I think it's American slang. You know how when something's like a ruckus or kind of like chaotic but funny? But I swear it was a phrase used at some point in American time. I'm pretty old school, so there's a chance that it was probably used like maybe circa 20 years ago. When things are a hoot. He's a hoot.
I would say probably further, further,
Excuse me.
further back, not 20 years ago.
I'm sure someone still use it. You guys will have to validate me here. But this story is from the subreddit AITH. Am I the old for taking my brother in law to small claims court for a prank? I recently took my brother in law to small claims court over a prank he pulled on me, and now my wife and her family are furious. I need to know if I'm in the wrong here. A few months ago, we were at a family barbecue. I had a few too many beers and fell asleep in a hammock with my shirt off. My brother in law, who was completely sober, thought it would be hilarious to fill my belly button with super glue. At some point, I must have touched it because when I woke up, I had glue partially dried in my belly button and on my finger. This is, how there are some situations in life where you kind of question the logical thinking of some of the people involved. Here, I question everything. Uh, Why glue? Why the belly button? Who looks at a guy sleeping in a hammock and goes, you know what this would be a wonderful moment for? Aha, let me whip out my super glue. And it's just like, why? No, Opie says, we tried to remove it, but it was stuck. The glue had adhered to my skin, and when we attempted to peel it off, it caused some tearing around the edges. Unfortunately, my job's insurance has a $1,000 ER copay, but I had no choice. I had to go to the ER. They used a solvent and an ointment to remove the glue, and after everything, I was left with a medical bill of $2,253. Whew. I asked my brother in law to cover the cost since he caused the situation. He refused. After trying to resolve it privately, I took him to small claims court and I won. However, he still hasn't paid. This has caused a major rift in my family. My wife is upset and her family thinks I overreacted. So, am I the a-hole for taking him to court over this?
Huh?
Okay, let me get some facts straight. So, everyone's at the family barbecue. I swear, nothing good happens at the family barbecue. I'm beginning to see a trend, guys. Like, is it the family reunion part? Is it the fact that everyone's maybe like a little tipsy, drinking, having a little too much fun, and that's where all the chaos comes out? Like, what's the problem with the family barbecues? But family barbecue, OP has a few beers, falls asleep in a hammock, shirt off. Brother goes, hee hee, ha ha. This is my time to shine. Whips out his Gorilla Glue, super glue gun, whatever this is. And I'm trying to picture this grown man doing this. So he tiptoes up to sleeping OP and just squirts super glue into his belly. And if you guys have ever worked with super glue, right? At least the type that I've used, it's liquidy. It's a little bit hard to work with because it dries very fast, but it's like hard to squeeze out of the tube generally, right? So I'm just imagining he's slowly, like, it's not like it's pouring out of the bottle, right? He's just slowly, quietly going like, all right, almost there, almost there. And then what? He just sits back and watches OP? Because the point of the prank is you watch it unfold, right? So did he just watch you sleep, OP? And I guess at some point he's sleeping, he's like scratching his belly button and then he just wakes up with a finger in the belly. Like, oh God.
Right. I would think that, you pouring super glue on your skin would probably irritate it, so you would naturally go and scratch it.
Oh, maybe. Maybe. Okay, my question is, where was everyone else? Did no one see this unfold? Did no one say anything? Or was everyone else part of the prank? Because I would be pissed. So that would be my number one question here. Like, who was in on it? Like, I would start pointing fingers, okay? My little stuck glue finger with the super glue would be like, which one of you guys did it? Or were a part of it and knew?
Well, in that case, you would be using the other hand because the one hand would be stuck in
That's
it.
true. So one hand stuck in the other hand, you're like, so which one? Which one? Here's the thing. I have no idea how to remove super glue. As far as when I'm a kid, I tried to avoid as much as possible because it's just annoying to deal with. But when I did get it stuck, I think it's just I tried to use warm water, like if a little tiny bit, and just over time, like I think it wears off or bits of it chips off. Eh, But if it's that much super glue that he has to go to the ER, I feel bad. Ovi, I'm so sorry for you. I just want to know, did you have to explain what happened? And were you wearing a shirt when you went to the ER? I don't mean to capitalize off of your uh, mildly embarrassing, kind of funny experience here, but do doctors can't possibly kind of see this as a norm? I'm sure like medical people see a lot of crazy things, right? But imagine someone just walks into the ER and they're like, "I have an emergency," and it's like, "Sir, can I see your hands?" It's like, no, because in the U.S., like at least in a lot of hospitals, you have to go through metal detectors and things like that, right? So I can only imagine, like, "Sir, what do you have there?" It's my finger in my belly button, officer. It's just, I'm so sorry. This whole thing seems like an ordeal. Now, I'll say it, maybe it's the pettiness in me, but good on you, OP. You went to small claims. Yes, that is a $2,253 bill. How does one justify that for glue solvent? Like to literally remove glue from someone's belly button. 2,000 plus dollars. Man, I feel like this is a testament to the US medical system and healthcare, but that's pricey. I do blame brother-in-law. I think he should cover it. And I don't think OP's in the wrong for going to small claims. Is it rough? Yeah. But I think it's kind of justified here because brother-in-law played stupid games and won a stupid prize. I think in his case, he won, well, lost a court case, but won a big hefty bill to pay. So I don't think you're overreacting. But other people might say, and seems like Opie's family and even his wife is upset and saying, but he's family. How could you take him to court? Now you're just blowing it up. No, I don't think so. Take him to court. Take all his money. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about taking all his money, but
Okay, well, take $2,253 of it.
yeah, in that case, I'd say the OP is justified because he tried to resolve it privately, and then
Mm-hmm.
the brother-in-law,
He said no. He
yeah,
was like,
then
nope.
yeah, that's a lot of money.
For removing glue from a belly
Plus the
button.
inconvenience that he had to go through, and probably was probably somewhat painful, I would assume.
Yeah. What's even worse is I doubt they would admit him in the ER like right away to remove it. So he's probably sitting in a waiting room with a finger stuck in his belly button too. Like, ugh. I hate pranks like this. This is not funny. Okay. You guys might call me boring. Okay. But pranks are only funny, I think, if they're like the wholesome good humor and everyone wins types of pranks. Like, oh, it's like you walk up to a stranger. It's like those pranks where you walk up to a stranger and say, "Oh, pick between my left and right hand." And it's like, "Oh, left hand is a lottery ticket to win $5 and right hand is like, I don't know, a seafood boil like raffle ticket or something." Like I would think, "Oh, that's a good prank. You got me there. You got me there. Both are good ideas." But pranks that are like harm people, hurt people, or cause extreme unnecessary inconvenience and hefty bills like this, it's a no. Wait, why didn't the brother just do something like, I don't know, go old school, like get a Sharpie and draw like a face on his belly button instead? At least you can wash it off without paying 2,000 plus dollars. Not gonna lie, OP, I have a word of advice for you. Not only do I think you're not the hole for taking him to court, but I would literally keep like keep an eye open from now on whenever you're napping or anywhere around the family. I don't trust it. No one had your back. No one stopped the brother from doing this nonsense. And even now, no one has your back. I'll say it. I think everyone's an a-hole here. Everyone sucks here except OP. That's my verdict. Because even wife is not innocent. Wife may have went with you to the ER, but wife is upset at you for causing a major rift as well. No, that's on her. That's her side of the family. She better manage her drama. Well, not her drama, your drama, but her side of the family.
I agree. This was not an oopsie. This was premeditated, pre-planned. Well, not pre-planned.
Well, it has to be pre-planned. Who just whips out super glue to be like, oh, let me do this?
No, I don't know. I take that back. I think it was just spur of the moment. They probably, let me,
What a freaking weirdo.
yeah. Oh, let me just grab super glue and pour in his belly, I guess. Belly button.
So weird. Now let's see what some of the comments say. First comment from Sherry Gabs. I can't believe your wife isn't with you on this. Pranks shouldn't involve the ER. Agreed. In this economy? In this economy, though.
You could argue that the brother-in-law didn't expect that OP would need to go to ER. I think that was not the
expectation. Is he dumb? Does he not know? Super glue is horrible. Like, right. He could have done anything else when you think about icing, ketchup, mustard,
like whipped cream or something, right?
Sauce, yeah, whipped cream. I don't know why I'm just naming sauces and like edible things. But all the available things at a barbecue he could have used. Pickles even. Freaking pickles. Like stuff like little cut up pickles there if he needs. I don't know how deep the belly button is.
That is just weird.
And that's super glue isn't. Man, he really went for the jugular with the super glue. He went, nope, that's not heavy duty enough. Another comment from Mocha Lattes. Not they go back and ask the courts to put a lien to force him to pay it. That or they can garnish his wages. If you had family drama before, they're going to hate you after this. Can you imagine? Brother-in-law refuses to pay, right? So OP brings brother-in-law to court a second time for I guess, going delinquent on the fees. And then the judge goes, all right, I'm going to tack on inconvenience fees on top of that. And I'm going to garnish your wages now. Imagine if brother-in-law had a girlfriend or like a partner or something, right? Babe, what happened? I had a really bad day. You'll never believe what happened. My wages got garnished because I put super glue in my brother-in-law's belly button. It doesn't sound real. Oh, let's see. We got some more info and an update. OP, please tell me. Please tell me you got the money. And also, I hope your wife changes her mind. But let's see. More info and update. The reason my wife was upset is because her brother was going through a divorce and between jobs. Everyone knew he did it. He even admitted it. He blames his ADHD. I don't want to garnish his pay. The reason I didn't try to clean the glue off of me was because I have scars in my navel from gallbladder surgery about 3 years ago. My mother-in-law has offered to pay the bill, but she's on a fixed income, and I would feel like an ass for taking her money. Of course, I'm the villain, and only my sister-in-law is on speaking terms with me. My wife is only barely on my side. It was her that took me to the ER, not thinking it would cost that much. I figure blood is thicker than water. I didn't expect this thread to blow up. Is it petty if I say take him for all, literally take him for all his money now? Okay, not all his money, but apparently if brother is quote unquote in between jobs, it's in quotes, okay guys? I'm not making fun of brother-in-law. That's even worse. What a dumbass. I'll just say it. You have no money. You play dumb pranks. Like, what did you expect would happen? Okay, maybe not the ER bill, but that's American healthcare for you. But I feel so bad because I see the issue. Because on the other side, I guess everyone knew that brother did it, which I'm also raising eyebrow at. I knew it. I knew that everyone was kind of, I guess, not in on it. But if you're a bystander, you're letting dumb things happen in the family barbecue, you're an accomplice. I'll say it. You're an accomplice. And now it's, he blames his ADHD. I am no medical professional, but I dare, like anyone listening, if you guys have ADHD, please educate me about this. ADHD cannot possibly explain someone throwing super glue in someone's sleeping's belly button, right? right? I feel like that's a poor excuse for the situation. I really do. And the fact that now OP's kind of in the situation of the villain somehow. Wait, so he's the victim, but he's now a villain. I'm confused because he just wants his money back. Because if it wasn't for brother in law's actions, he wouldn't have had the inconvenience, had to pay the money. But now mom in law's chiming and saying, oh, I'll pay, I'll pay. But we all know how that goes. When something bad is done to you, you would want, the person who did it to pay you back, right? If someone other than that person pays you back, it feels like now, oh, am I the bad guy? Especially when you know that mother in law can't afford it because of her fixed income or whatever. I cannot believe that sister in law is the only one on speaking terms with OP, not even his wife. Wife is apparently barely on his side, which I don't really know what that means. Is that like, she's like, I feel bad for you, but F you? Like, well, what exactly is barely on one side mean? No, I'll say everyone sucks. Everyone sucks. Even mom in law sucks because even though she offered to pay, I think she's enabling the brother's behavior. Don't play stupid games and you won't win a stupid bill. Like, it's that simple. I don't know. Am I too harsh?
I don't think you are.
Yeah? What would you do in this situation? So it's like, brother doesn't have money, in quotes, right? Because otherwise, if he pushes, his wages get garnished. Mother in law is offering to pay you, though. Wife is mad at you. No one's speaking to you. What do?
That's a tough situation to be in.
I feel bad for you, OP.
At the same time, like I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming as well, but
Mhm.
potentially in US at least they have those urgent cares, which
Ah,
probably would be a fraction of the cost, and you could get the similar service at least for
you think so?
something like that. Yeah,
So here's the interesting thing. Growing up, I didn't really use urgent cares because I didn't really know what they were for. In my household, and I wonder if it's an ignorance thing or lack of education thing. But in my household, oh, if it's something that can wait, you go to your family doctor or whatever, right? Your normal healthcare provider. And then if it's, anything urgent, quote unquote, urgent or immediate, you rush to ER. Like there's no sense of go to urgent care first.
yeah,
So I wonder if it's like, did OP not know? And is it just like kind of instinct of, oh, let's just go to ER to get
yeah.
this
I think the
fixed?
simple way to put it is somewhere it's in between the your primary care versus going to ER, somewhere in between
Yeah.
in terms of urgency, I guess.
I think the first thing I would have done was Google, to be honest.
Right?
Just because ER is so expensive. Like I would have just tried to Google and maybe there would have been an easy solution because I highly doubt the hospital spent $2,000 plus worth of care on you,
No,
OP.
definitely not. It's definitely inflated. This for you just to get admitted to the ER. It's gonna
Yeah.
cost you probably like $1,000 or so.
Yeah. I feel bad. I mean, I guess maybe it's because OP did explain he has scars there. So maybe he was nervous about messing something up around his stomach. So maybe there's that. Regardless, OP, my condolences. It's a poopy situation to be in. No one's on your side except ironically your sister-in-law, which is really funny from the whole landscape
Yeah,
of things.
definitely a sticky situation.
Ow! I just think of the belly button and the glue. I just picture like the finger just stuck there. Ah, mental image. Ugh. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want you to have the same mental image, but OP, yell at your wife. Well, no, don't yell. I'm just kidding. Like, talk to your wife. She needs to be on your side. You cannot be alone in this. You are not the a-hole. I would go the route of garnishing brother-in-law's wages. I'm sorry. And then I would go low contact with the family at this point, if that's the case. Because it's not right for mother-in-law to be on the hook, in my opinion, and then for you to now feel bad because mother-in-law is paying you back. It just caused other problems. So I would go that route. Would you drop it? Or would you still try to get the money back? I think it's the principle. For me, it's really the principle, not even the money at that point.
Yeah, I don't know about the money, but at the same time, the relationship between the family members who support us would be definitely strained for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it would be tough.
Dang, the barbecue that broke up the family.
Right?
Oh my gosh, so dramatic. Now, our next story is from the subreddit Am I the a hole? Am I the a hole for having a snack with my brother and sister in law after she had made a thoughtless remark about my wife? This is not a family barbecue. But again, when food and family involved, you never know what's going to happen. OP says, my wife, our 1-year-old son, and I were at my older brother's home yesterday for dinner. I used to visit them often before I was married, but even now we try to visit each other once a month and are generally on cordial terms. During dinner, my sister in law made a remark about my wife's bag that I bought for our anniversary. My wife seemed happy about that and everything was going well. My sister in law then compared it to my wallet, which is pretty old and worn. But I like it because my dad gave it to me 11 years ago when I left for college and told my wife she should make me shop for myself too. I said, I like my wallet. I've heard comments about it and I just laughed it off. She then said something that basically translates to, quote, one person earns and another person spends. I felt uncomfortable about it, but my wife looked totally pissed off. I tried to change the topic, but my wife said that she takes care of her son, maintains our house while at work, decorate our house from scratch, all true, and I routinely thank her for it. My sister in law said it was a joke, but within a few minutes, my wife just said she wasn't feeling well and we went back. During the drive back, and when we came back home, she made it very clear that she won't be keeping any contact with her until she gets a clear apology. Today, my brother called and suggested we grab a bite to eat. I said, sure. The way he said it, it really seemed like it was just the two of us. My wife also had no issues with that. I thought my brother was going to discuss a way for us to meet or something so that my sister in law and my wife could patch things up. When I went there, my sister in law was there too. While we were eating, they gave me her point of view that it was a lighthearted comment and my wife was blowing it out of proportion. I defended my wife too and said she definitely feels it was out of line. When I came back home and my wife learned she was there too, she got really upset. She said if my sister in law wasn't prepared to render an apology, then I should have left and that I betrayed her by having food with them. I don't see it that way. I was really trying to fix everything in good faith. Am I the a-hole? Yes! How dare you bake bread? How dare you break bread with the enemy? I mean, okay, they're not exactly enemies, but in this context, they are. Oh, I'm pissed. I don't know if you guys could tell. I was holding my breath the whole time I was reading this. I was like, nope, nope. We're going to get to N. Maybe it gets better. Maybe OP understands. Nope, nope. Then he went there and did that and said that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
What?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? What don't you know?
Well, I would say that OP did not know that. Was it the sister-in-law?
Yeah, sister-in-law was going to be there.
Right.
Right? Okay.
And he basically defended his wife, right?
But did he?
Well, it seems like it, right? He was on
Well,
her side and
he
tried to
says
explain the situation.
he says I defended my wife and said she definitely feels it was out of line.
But does he think it was out of line?
That's my question.
Okay.
Like, okay, I hate to be nitpicky on this, guys, but tell me if you see the difference or hear the difference, right? Between someone having beef with your partner, like someone saying something bad about your partner and you saying, well, she feels upset about it versus, no, we are upset that you would say such a thing about my partner or you would say such a, like, there's a difference, right? I am disliking OP and calling OP the a-hole. Like, I'm marking a-hole because I think OP is a straddler. I think he's trying to like sit the fence and kind of be chill with both sides when this is a moment when he definitely needs to pick a side and defend his wife. Like 100% and not just kind of in a very lukewarm, okay, I see your point of view. Well, she feels upset about it because beyond her feeling upset, it was just disrespectful. I mean, they were just having a nice meal. Why did sister-in-law have to come all shots fired like that? She went, nice bag. And she went, oh, but look, his wallet's so raggedy. One person spends while another person what? Wait, what was it? One person earns while another person spends. What the? Am I the only one who heard that phrase in that tone? Like in my head, I'm just like, you gotta like have the little hand like pulling one strand of hair behind your ear and then like almost having like the half eye roll while you're saying it. But continue, honey. You were giving him benefit out. Let's see the other perspective. Okay. So say OP was defending. You don't think OP, is in the wrong, or what do you think?
Well, I'm somewhat 50-50 and depends, I guess, how he brought it up.
You fence sitter.
Well, kind of. I want to hear I also want to hear the comments and what people have to say.
Okay. We'll get to the comments a bit. My biggest beef here, okay? I'm sorry. I have to tear into sister in law a little bit more, guys. Is tell me how she has zero remorse, right? If this was so lighthearted joke, a simple, oh, I'm so sorry it came out that way. I didn't mean to hurt you, would have sufficed. Honestly, I think that would have squashed the beef already.
Yeah, you're
What?
I would say that the person that says that or makes
Oh.
that type of joke would not apologize. It would be very hard. Like, I don't see that happening. It's just too conflicting. Like,
With her character?
yeah, like it's just conflicting, two conflicting things, I guess.
But I just think it's so conniving. It's a little manipulative to like have the husband no, because sister-in-law called the husband, which is OP's brother, like out and said, "Oh, go tell OP that you want to meet up with him for lunch or dinner, whatever." And then he's thinking, "Oh, it's just you and me, right, bro? Let's go, just the two of us. Let's discuss how we can
Yeah,
patch things up for our wives." And then he shows up and he's ambushed by two people. And then she takes that opportunity to share her point of view.
yeah,
Like, it feels like she's kind of spending more time shaping the perspective, the narrative, than she is actually thinking about what happened.
yeah.
So maybe you're right.
Well, it
Apologies, a pipe dream here.
right, but at the same time, I want to make it clear that like in no way that I'm defending the sister-in-law. Like,
Yeah.
there's just yeah, that was uncalled for.
I like your little disclaimer. It's like, disclaimer,
Right.
do not cancel me. But you think OP might be defendable here, potentially.
I would say so. It all depends, I guess, what the sister-in-law said was not okay, and whether he thought it was not okay, or just that his wife thought it was not okay. I think that makes a huge difference
That's
there.
true. That's true. Although I'm still leaning towards OP still in the wrong because I agree with the wife in that the minute he found out he was being bamboozled by his brother and sister, he should have just got up and left. In solidarity with his wife, I will not break bread with the enemy, quote unquote. Like, I think he should have made his stance clear of supporting his wife in the sense of, bro, I thought it was just us. Like, you know that what your lady said to my partner was not right. We want an apology. And if not, I can't have a conversation. So goodbye, good day. I feel like that would have been the better response because it feels like sister now gets a chance to kind of tell her side of the story, but wife isn't there to participate. It feels weird.
Mm, I guess I can somewhat agree with this. Is that one thing I would have expected to see with that the sister-in-law and OP's wife would just talk to each other directly without OP and
Right.
sister-in-law's husband, I guess, being in the middle. That just makes no sense. Why are they in the middle?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like wife's input isn't valued at all. Like, she's not even quote unquote invited to the meal, invited to the table for the conversation. And so I would feel some sort of way if my partner, even if he did kind of like minimally or normally defend me, to cut me out of like he participated in kind of cutting me out of the conversation. That's why I feel some sort of way about it. I'm like, he should have just got up and left, in my opinion. In solidarity. Well, but that's how I would take it. But let's see what some of the comments say. First comment from Gina Flower. It was wholly unfair that they brought you there unsuspecting to talk about your wife without your wife there to defend herself. The comments your sister-in-law made weren't funny or lighthearted at all. They were a dig at your wife, who she seemingly sees as just after your money. Your brother and his wife are your people. It is your job to fix this. I'm not sure that walking out immediately is a solution, but sitting down to a friendly meal that your wife isn't invited to isn't either. They don't see what she said was wrong. My guess is it goes deeper than this one comment, and I bet your brother agrees with his wife. A gentle, you're the a-hole for now, but I hope you defended your wife vigorously. If you didn't, it's not so gentle. Your finances are none of their business. Okay. So interesting perspective. I agree in this comment where they're saying, ugh, if you walk away, it doesn't necessarily change things, but if you stay there, that's not the solution either. So I see some of the conflict in the comments too. But very interesting point that comment makes about the brother. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I bet you sister-in-law may have been the one to say it, but both brother and sister-in-law both think it. They think it. That's very interesting. You know what's weird to me? People make a lot of assumptions about other people, right? Especially couples. And usually it's based on outward appearances, things they're wearing, things like that, right? Well, if I see a couple where one partner is dressed lavishly and the other one is dressed normally, my first thought isn't, Oh, one earns while the other spends. Like, my brain doesn't go to that level of dramatics and storytelling. I'm sorry. I don't craft a whole story around you. My brain just goes, oh, cool. If it's a girl and she has a cute bag, I'm like, oh, girl, your man got you a bag. That's sweet. Like, I hope you guys are happy together. Or if vice versa, the man has a nice watch or some nice accessory his partner bought for him, I would say, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, that's so great that your lady spoils you. You know, like, that's cute. It's a good thing when couples want to do nice things for each other. I think it's projecting. I think sister's jealous. I think she wishes that she were the one with the flashy bag and a husband that cared for her. And I think that was jealousy talking. So now she's just projecting. She really went and said, "You're a gold digger" at the dinner or lunch, whatever, and expected OP to just take it. Ugh, gross, gross. Another comment: "You're the a-hole." Quote: "She definitely feels it was out of line. Way to have her back. It was out of line, and you should have made clear that you thought it was out of line too. You make it sound like it was her subjective perception." This is what I'm talking about. There's a difference between saying, "Well, she feels this way," and "we feel this way." You see the power in the we? We are stronger together. Like, you got to have a united front as a couple. You don't have to for everything, but when it comes to, defending your, I don't want to be melodramatic here, partner's honor or like character or whatever. Yeah, like, go all out. There's no such thing as going too much all out when it comes to that. Honey, what would you say if you were in this situation? What's the correct answer? She or we? Or I?
We.
Yeah? You better fight for me if this ever happens.
Would I be correct as well?
I would be correct. Because I think we is like the most politically correct, I guess if we were to say it. But I think I in this situation would also be okay. Because OP would be voicing out, "No, I don't feel you're sincere. I call BS on your excuse, sister-in-law."
By the way, why politically correct?
Well, technically correct, not politically correct. You know what I mean?
Is I a very controversial term?
No, but now the more I think about it, the more I'm like second guessing myself, like, would I have been correct if OP said that? I don't know. Oh, we got another comment from Sad Potato. "What exactly is the joke?" Quote: "Haha, you don't care enough about your husband to make sure he's taken care of too." Was that the joke? Doesn't seem very funny to me. Is it really that hard for you, sister-in-law, to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings or insult you"? If she refuses to apologize, then I guess it wasn't really a joke, was it? No. You know what's funny to me? The extent people will go to not ever let the words, "I'm sorry," come out of their lips. Like, oh my goodness. We all know someone like this. Someone who is they'll dance around, they'll say, "It's just a joke. Don't overreact. Don't take it too hard. You're so emotional." But it's like they said something really ridiculous, really cruel, mean, or just insulting, straight up insulting. And it's like, you're thinking too much. I'm like, well, according to the American dictionary and what words you use, I clearly wasn't. Just more of the story. Just freaking apologize, girl. I'm mad. I'm so mad. Seeing Reddit's verdict, a-hole. And I have to agree. I'm sorry. I don't know if I would lean towards gentle a-hole. I just think your intention might have been in the right place. The process throughout a little shaky, but I hope that you support your wife through this and come together as a united front to set the record straight with your brother and sister-in-law, who's clearly very bitter and jealous. Has your verdict changed after hearing all the comments?
It's definitely leaning more towards the a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as I mentioned already, it's the I usage versus we.
We.
Yeah.
The we feel this way.
Yeah.
There's just something about it, though. I feel like we just sound stronger in general when you say something. It's almost like,
Well, it's not even I. Sorry. She
she.
versus
Yeah.
we.
The we. You know what's interesting? I feel like this is like someone will have to tell me this is a psychology tactic. But situations where there are mean girls, right? Notice like if the head honcho mean girl comes up to you, the head bully says something. They never say, I think you're dumb. They'll say something like, we don't like the way you speak. We don't like the way you dress, right? So maybe there's something to it. There's actual like science behind it or something like that. Like something that clicks in our brain goes, wow, like they're saying we, whoa, it's like a group of people coming at me instead of just the one bully girl and her like two cronies.
Yeah. You could argue
So,
that using she is a way of trying to keep the peace, but
huh?
well, trying to keep the peace between the two parties that are in conflict. But in my opinion,
Oh,
that
like trying to be neutral,
right,
like mediator.
right,
Like you're
but
not leaning towards
it's
one side.
yeah,
Okay.
but in my opinion, this is not the place where that
No.
needs to happen. There's clearly a wrong party here.
Mm-hmm. You tell him, babe. You tell him. You've heard it from us, guys. Verdict. I'm dropping it. A-hole. Wait, I can't drop the A because it sounds weird. So A-hole. But OP,
What?
you know how I usually have dropped the D, drop the B? Like there's nothing to drop here.
I'm
Unless
dropping
you,
the A.
yes, dropping the A. Dropping the A on this one. A-hole. See, you guys asked me, can we have some Am I the Devil stories? I looked, guys, there weren't any juicy enough. So here you are. We do have a solid a-hole story for you. Well, kind of shaky, but you know. If you guys enjoy our stories today, don't forget to like this episode and hit subscribe, guys. Although if you're listening to me on Spotify, don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. But wait, if you guys are still here, let me know. Quick, let me know. What topics do you want to see next? You know, give me like, do you want more wedding stories, romance, family drama? Give it to me. Let me know. And if you agree or disagree, let me have in the comments. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.